and they get the second half title, and they'll play Friday or Thursday night.
And Connie, these two teams are no strangers to big games that have this kind of significance. As you said, a Coughlin win gives them the Wyoming Valley Conference Championship for the first time since 1935. If Hazleton wins, they're the outright second half championship, and it would force a playoff. Two excellent teams, two excellent coaches. Packed house. You couldn't ask much more for a high school basketball game tonight.
No, you're absolutely right. As far as John Quinn's team is concerned, obviously he's got John Boylan, a great player, maybe the best, but this young man, Scott Knapp-Corey, very key player on the boards for John Quinn's bunch.
Knapp-Corey, 6'2", junior, averaging 15 points a game. The thing I like about Scott, he moves extremely well without the basketball. He's an excellent baseline player. He goes to the boards really well. I like his all-purpose game. He's one of the key players. They have 3 scorers in the top 15 in this league, and Scott Knapp-Corey at 15 points per game. He's one of the keys for John Quinn's Coughlin Crusaders.
With apologies to Charles Dickens, the last time these two teams met, it wasn't a tale of two cities, but it was a tale of two halves. Coughlin really dominated the first half. Hazleton area stuck in there because of the play of Jonathan Veet. And really, when you talk to Bruce Live, he's very high on this young man.
He's 6'1". He's a sophomore. He plays bigger than 6'1". Outstanding offensive rebounder. He can take it to the bucket. His mid-range jumper 10 to 12 feet is effective. He's a 71% free throw shooter, and I like the attitude of Jonathan Veet and the way he plays the game with the kind of aggressiveness. He comes every night to play.
Well, we are just moments away from a great high school basketball rivalry game. Coughlin and Hazleton area, and we will have more from Hazleton area high school after this. You look at two of the best high school coaches in the area. Bruce Leib on the left, and John Quinn is in that huddle for the Coughlin Crusaders. And as we mentioned, this always an outstanding rivalry matchup when both Hazleton area and Coughlin meet. National anthem. Let's take a look at the starting lineup for both squads. Obviously, one key player for John Quinn's team, John Boylan, the MVP for the Wyoming Valley Conference last year, and you would have to think he's probably the odds-on favorite for Coughlin. Matt Tucker, really the key performer for Hazleton area inside. He can shoot from the outside the three. When he wants to, can really take over a game like maybe no other player with the exception of Boylan for Coughlin. So those two players obviously very important tonight. A reminder that tonight's game here on WYLN is brought to you by the Third Base Luncheonette, serving the Hazleton area since 1949. Try a famous Third Base hoagie, the best place next to home. For great food and free delivery, call 455-0631. Tonight's game is also brought to you by the 15th Street Battery Warehouse, specializing in auto, truck, marine, batteries, and much, much more. We do alternator batteries and starter testing free. So when it comes to battery problems, come to the 15th Street Battery Warehouse, located at 15th and State Court 450-5155. Tonight's game is also brought to you by Dean Witter. For further information on IRA rollovers, Roth IRAs, financial planning, and retirement planning, contact your Hazleton area Dean Witter representative, Joe Doherty or Wally Effort, 455-7396. Tonight's game is also brought to you by Robert Judd and his qualified staff at Arc Electric, wishing the Cougars good luck. Arc Electric, a leader in residential, industrial, and commercial electrical work. And finally, tonight's game is also brought to you by Lewis and Gary Blass, the Blass brothers, Frank's Lock and Doors Service Company, 99 North Wyoming Street in Hazleton. Greater Hazleton's oldest locksmithing firm. We can solve any lock problem. Their number, 454-6623. A look at the Hazleton area huddle. And certainly there's a lot riding on this game. We don't need to remind you of that. And a lot riding for that gentleman.
Well, you talk about the first championship since 1935, and John Quinn's probably thinking maybe this is the night it's going to happen. And a lot of it will rest on the shoulders of Johnny Boylan. He's the kid who makes it happen, Conio. He's the type of kid who can shoot those threes, create off the dribble. He makes the other players feed off what he does. If Boylan's right, then this could be the night for Coughlin. If not, Matt Tucker, the key for Hazleton area, and he's one of the guys who Bruce Leib would look to as his senior veteran player.
You see what happened last time these two teams met? Hazleton area eking out a 2-point win. Coughlin had a 32-20 lead at the half. Frank Majikis, George Gregaris. It's Gregaris' last game as a Wyoming Valley Conference official in the league. And Roman McLaughlin, right off the bat, scores the first point of the game.
And he split the gut right between the 1-2-2 matchup zone, Conio, right down the lane uncontested. Nice jump stop, took the 10-foot mid-range jumper, McLaughlin did. Coughlin again in their classic 2-3 matchup zone. They played it all year long. They do a real good job with the match.
Bobby Broyan, 3-2.
That was a good inside-outside look. Tucker in the post, looked opposite to Broyan. Broyan sticks the three. He's 44% from three, so you know he can take him and he can make him.
McLaughlin. Got it inside to John Boylan. McLaughlin now cut off, double team, thrown in the court, inside the net. Corey. Back to Boylan. McLaughlin. Open player is Napori. Got that to go.
That's a nice pass that time from McLaughlin on the baseline to Napori. Just took the one-bounce jumper from 5 feet. Nice execution, nice pass.
4-3, and a traveling violation against Nathan Mariano.
Well, Coughlin extends the pressure a little bit. Some token pressure defense up the floor, dropping back in the matchup zone. They're extending it a little bit, trying to pick up some of the tempo of the game. They'd like to play it at 94 feet. Hazleton would like the game to be in the 50s if they could.
The high-scoring game, no question, favors Coughlin. Boylan, nothing. Beat the rebound. Barletta. Tucker, no. The board comes down in the hands of Napori. Stolen away, though. Barletta for 2.
Well, that time Napori brought the ball down by his waist, what you don't want a big man to do. Barletta was there, picked him clean, scored the layup.
McLaughlin picked up his dribble. Finally got it to Mills. 5:35 and counting. Boylan, nice feed inside to Mills, who traveled with the basketball.
Now Boylan penetrated, created the shot for Jason Mills. The big guy had a little bit of indecision and took the extra step, but the Boylan penetration was there. That's what they need against the matchup zone. He just picked his pocket, as you notice, and that Corey brought it down by his waist area. You don't want your big guys to do that, and the guard was there to strip him. And just a solid, fundamental, aggressive play by Barletta, who plays the game extremely smart.
Barletta in the lane, yes. Michael Barletta, 7-4, as we're trickling down to the 5-minute mark here in the first. McLaughlin. Boylan. And a blocking foul going to be called. Let's see who they got on that foul. It'll be Michael Barletta. Here's the foul.
And Boylan, if you notice, Connie, the first 3 or 4 possessions on the floor, he's just looking to create off the dribble and try to create some shots for his teammate. That's his kind of game, taking it off the dribble, creating, and we look for him to step back at times and take the 3, but right now he's just looking to create off the dribble.
Foul on Nathan Mariano, and you could maybe hear the clapping of Bruce Leib as if to say, hey, got all ball, but George Gregaris disagreed, and to the line, John Boylan. First one's good.
I'm sure Bruce Leib is, wants the ball club to try to cut off those penetration lanes. It seems like Boylan is finding his way into areas deep in the zone, and he's breaking down the zone quite effectively. They've got to close those lanes down, or he'll be in there all night long.
7-6. Hazleton area. Under 5 minutes to go. Here in the first. Barletta. Back over to Nathan Mariano. Senior night here at Hazleton Area High School, and so many of the seniors, not only the players but the cheerleaders, honored before this game. Royan, baseline, got hip check there, couldn't get it to go. Tucker missed as well. Napori, the big guy, run to the floor, offensive foul. No, excuse me, blocking foul. Oh, Bruce Leib does not like that call at all.
Well, a tough angle for us to see right now, Connie. Here comes Nat Corey in a 2-on-1 fast break. He's looking to take it right to the basket. I think that's the proper call. I think that is definitely a block. Kind of stepped in a little bit too late than Michael Barletta.
Foul going to be called against Coughlin on the missed long shot.
The toughest call in the game to block the charge, but we talked about many times before, to be a charge, you've got to get there first. You have to have both feet planted, and you've got to be facing the offensive player. And I thought that time Barletta was just a tad late getting over.
Four minutes to go here in the first. 7-6. Again, a Coughlin win, and they win the overall title. Hazleton area comes up with the win, and that's a 3 that is drilled by Bobby Royan. A Hazleton area win means there'll be a playoff Thursday or Friday.
Boy, the confidence level of the freshman, Connie, has to be right there right now, 2 for 2. Got to feel like he's in the groove a little bit.
Yep. Boylan, tough shot, no. Loose ball, Boylan came up with it. John in the lane, try to get it there to Napori, who fed it to Mills, no! And now Mills reached around, and Jeff will pick up a personal foul.
But there's a shot that you've got to be able to knock down. Napori here takes it on the base. Tucker steps in to help. Excellent pass to Jeff Mills, and it just rims around and falls out. And Jeff picks up an aggressive foul. A little frustration for Jeff on that one.
Three from the corner, no. Tipped around, finally, Jama with the rebound.
Marvin Jama in the game to replace Jeff Mills, who sits on the bench with 2 fouls.
Boylan, inside, a lot of contact there as Napori got fouled. Scott Napori, the junior forward, trying to make a move inside the lane, and I believe the foul is on Tucker.
Once again, here's Napori. Tucker's there, but gets a little bit of ball, a little bit of the hand. And we talked about it before, Connie, that John Boylan is really creating an awful lot of shots. The penetration dribble, he's doing a lot with that, and he's really finding the seams in that Hazleton zone.
Napori, who averages close to 15 a game, missed the second, but the rebound, McLaughlin in the lane, the hook shot good. 10-9, Hazleton area.
And Coughlin with the 2-1-2 to nuisance press just to try to keep Hazleton honest. Just trying to pick up a little tempo. Not trapping, but just your base 2-1-2 defense.
Beat travel with the basketball before the shot.
As I said, Coughlin will try to pick up the pace, put some pressure. It's not an extremely trapping type of pressure. It's just a basic 2-1-2, three-quarter court press.
Boylan. Mariano guarding him. Need 15 to go here in the first. Difficult off-balance shot. Now Corey no good. Davis tried to throw it off of Barletta. Michael, however, made the play there to keep it in bounds. And Boyd made a nice play to keep that ball in bounds. Barletta. Yes.
That time Barletta just took it quick on the baseline. Good first step, got to the bucket in a hurry, and a good fundamental jump stop. Good control for the layup.
McLaughlin. Roman 3, yes. Roman McLaughlin has 7 of the 12 points.
Well, he's averaging 50 a game. He's almost halfway there right now, Connie, and he's kept him solid here in the first quarter.
And a solid first quarter by both teams. Tied at 12. 1:15 to go here in the first. Happy you could join us on WYLN. Mariano inside, and it's stripped away. Barletta's 3. Oh, Michael Barletta is really feeling it. He's got 9.
Well, you're looking for your senior to step up, one of your tri-captains, and right now he feels it. He's taking control, and until they're able to get the ball to Tucker in a scoring position, the guards will carry some of the load, and Michael Barletta is certainly carrying the load here.
Boylan missed the 3. Tucker the rebound. Here comes Barletta. And under a minute to go. Stolen away by John Boylan. Boylan in for 2.
We talk so much about Boylan's offensive ability, we forget he has the quick hands defensively.
Yep.
He just picked it and scored.
Hazleton area now looks like they will hold for one shot, up by 1. 23 seconds and counting in the first.
Just a simple 4 corner spread. They're going to take it down, probably want to take the shot within 5 seconds and down. Don't want to give Coughlin a chance to get one shot off.
Under 10 seconds. Barletta. Bryant. Mariano under 2 seconds. No. Done with 1. Good first quarter. 1 point lead, Hazleton area. And we welcome you back here to Hazleton Area High School with Connie Ocianti. I'm Connie O. Costanzo. It is a 15-14 lead for Hazleton area.
Right now you're going to look at a little bit of a chaser on Barletta. A.J. Karowski guarding Barletta all over the floor. Looks a little bit like a diamond 1 or a box 1. They're chasing Barletta with Karowski, so they're going to try to take Barletta right out of the game.
Beats. Jonathan had such a great game the first time they played. Goes his first points of this one.
Does what he does best. Take it to the bucket. The 8 to 12 mid-range jumper this kid can knock down with consistency. That's what he did there. They're trying to take Barletta out of the game, and Bruce will have to play with the other four until Barletta can get on track.
John Boylan missed the bunny inside. And the Cougars now, if they wish, can expand this 3-point lead to either 5 or 6. You see what both teams have done in the first quarter shooting the ball. Pretty good shooting. Whistle and a call coming up against Coughlin. It's going to go on Roman McLaughlin.
They've assigned A.J. Karowski to actually kind of hound Barletta all over the floor. He's got 9 the first quarter, so he's been a factor. They're going to just try to take him out of the game and let other people do some of the scoring.
Out of bounds, tipped out by Scott Corey, so Hazleton area will have it with 7:06 to go. Barletta will inbound it.
And John Quinn trying to go a little bit to the gimmick defense really early on because Barletta really stroked it real well the first quarter.
Tipped ball, controlled by Corey. Boylan. Nice move, John. Now with 5.
Nice transition basket. Corey up the floor to Boylan. Boylan takes to the bucket with his left hand. Just a real nice transition play. Good pass by Corey to set Boylan up on the fast break.
Direction, Boylan's got 6. And the lead's down to 1 for Hazleton area. Bryan. Ooh, picked up the pivot foot, and Madrikis saw it. Called the travel.
And doing a nice job at even matching up, Connie. They're in a little bit of a gimmick, but they're also out of that gimmick, staying kind of man-to-man. They know where people are in the areas, so they're doing a nice little job of disguising what they're doing.
Coughlin only lost one game in the second half to Nanico. Long three, bank in! Marvin Jama, no, that's a 2 for Jama, and I didn't hear him call bank.
Well, regardless, you know, as we said, they all count, and yep. I'm sure he's going to take it.
Mariano to the hole, glass and good. Back to a 1-point lead. Hazleton Area's only lost in the second half to Valley West, a game played at Wyoming Valley West High School. Of course, the Spartans, as you saw, going to be thrown away. The Spartans were supposed to be part of a three-way playoff, but Jed Hines' Bishop Hoban's team knocked them off, and so John Quinn and Bruce Live's team, you see them both here, play for the second half title.
And Valley West with a golden chance to have a three-way tie and have an opportunity to win a half and maybe a league championship, and Jed Hines, Bishop Hoban Argents just knock them out of the whole ballgame. It's got to be a tough loss for Johnny Rawson.
A turnover by Hazleton Area. John Boylan passed the timeline. So dangerous when he's with the basketball. McLaughlin 3. Yes. Roman now with 10.
That time defensively, you can see when Boylan had the ball, the dribble penetration right, shifted the defense over. He reversed it real quickly to McLaughlin. And that's a nice concept against the zone. Reverse the basketball, and McLaughlin just struck that 3. And Roman looks like he's got the touch tonight, Connie. He's really on target tonight.
Mariano stepped out of bounds when he tried to tip that ball back. The 5-minute mark here in the second. John Boylan. Borowski was open for a 3. That's a 3 as well, and it is buried by Scott Naptori.
And we talked a little bit about Scott before the game. We said he can take it to the bucket. He's a good baseline player, and he also has the ability to step out and shoot the 3, and he shows that versatility right there by stepping out against the zone and just knocking down the 3.
Under 4:30 in the second. 10-point lead, 5-point lead for Coughlin. And we have a foul called, and let's take a look at the last 3 that was thrown up. Roman McLaughlin scoring 1 here.
There's a reversal of the basketball. McLaughlin right on the top of the key took the reversal pass from Boylan and sticks the 3. There's Nat Corey out of the corner, steps out away from the zone and hits the 3. So back-to-back 3s by Coughlin gives him a 5-point lead with about 4:22 to go in the second quarter.
John Quinn does not like the call. Oh, it's an intentional foul called against Marvin Jama. So to the free throw line, Matt Tucker, 66% from the charity stripe.
Well, you've got a 5-point lead. You got things going well for you. I mean, John Quinn is saying, Marvin, we've got Jeff Mills on the bench with 2. We don't really need that right now. And Tucker turns it on and misses both. And it'll be Hazleton possession on the intentional.
His free throws have given many a coach a gray or white hair.
Coughlin back to the matchup on the out-of-bounds play.
Mariano inside Tucker. Matt kicked back out. 3-second violation called. I think it was Tucker who was camping out inside the lane. Now as we trickle down to the 4-minute mark, Connie Ocianci, we've seen this game already this year where Coughlin has won the first half of the game, and of course I'm referring to the last time they played. Napori, Jama inside, blocked. Boylan grabs the rebound. Tough shot off glass and in.
Little guy got in there, found a piece of the basketball, and just shot it right up over Tucker. But he is crafty. He knows how to play the game. He's in the right spot at the right time. And for 5'10", he was in the right place. the quickness of hands. You just don't know where he's going to be, Connie. He can play the game on the offensive end and defensive end, and he's a quality player, no question about that.
Veet. Turnaround Tucker, no. Fight for it. Napkori for Coughlin. Napkori, we're going to have a block called against, and it looks like it's going to be on Barletta.
Looks like Coughlin that time down the floor. There comes Napkori taking the ball strong, and Barletta just kind of slides in, but really no position for the offensive foul. Here's Boylan. There's 5:10 over 6-7. Off the glass and in.
And a timeout is taken by Bruce Live. A 20-second timeout is taken by the Cougars. And you have to think right now, Bruce Live does not like the type of game he has seen so far tonight. We're really, many of the loose balls have gone in the Crusader possession, and some missed shots by Hazleton area as well.
Well, they're just down 7. I think it's a good timeout. Guys, let's settle down. It's only a 7-point game. We've been in these situations many times before. Let's get a stop defensively, and let's get down and run the offense. And Coughlin defensively looks like out of that matchup zone, they're actually in a man-to-man where they've got everybody covered. So out of the match, they are man-to-man, and it seems like wherever Hazelton has somebody, Coughlin's got somebody right there. Just an excellent adjustment on John Quinn's part, and really both teams playing solid defense.
Borowski. Open shot there, missed by Jama. Tucker the rebound. We're going to have a reach-in call against Marvin Jama, trying to reach in and make a play there.
Well, John Quinn will go to the bench once again, Connie, and he's looking to bring in Joe Bachkowski.
There's the foul right there. Bachkowski into the game, and there you get a look at Joe. And John Quinn is
Brent Teeter comes in the ball
on the bench. Yep.
Teeters comes in, and a little full court pressure by Coughlin. Again, token, not really trapping, just trying to cause a little bit of problem as far as Hazelton bringing the ball down the floor.
Tucker. Mariano. In for 2. Nathan with 4 in this period.
That time they got lost in the matchup, and good reverse for the basketball. And Mariano sticks one. That's a big bucket, Connie, to get it to 5, because Coughlin was on a pretty good run, and they needed something to halt that momentum, and Mariano gave it to them with that baseline jumper.
Boylan now. John. Oh, nice crossover move there by the senior. Napkori. Tough shot by Scott. He got it to go, though.
And watching Scott a couple times, that's his type of move. The crossover dribble, take it to the bucket, mid-range stop, 10 to 12 feet. He can make that when he can make the 3. He's got a pretty good arsenal of offensive basketball when he's playing the game.
Under 2 minutes to go. Tucker. Beats. Jonathan now has 4 all in this period.
Nice high-low look by Tucker. Saw he was guarded. Beat kind of left alone under the bucket, and Matt Tucker, nice pass, found Beat for 2.
Boylan. And that was stripped away by Mariano, and it's going to stay Coughlin possession. A look at that last move.
Now here's Boylan, slapping the ball, and pretty close. It looked like it might have been off Boylan's knee. It's a tough call right there on the baseline, but that could have gone either way right there.
The hook, McLaughlin missed it. Roy in up court. And Bobby will bring it back out. You see in the second period what Coughlin has done. Peters! No. Napkori quickly up court. Foul called as Boylan tried to go to the hole. And Bruce Live clearly does not like that call. And he's going to get a tee. Here's the replay of the call.
Now there I did not see the foul. If it could have been with the body, but on the block attempt I didn't see it. But there's Mariano's jumper on the baseline just a few minutes ago, and now we've got Johnny Boylan with a chance.
As Napkori here hitting this shot. Boylan will go to the line and shoot a couple.
If it's a foul in the act of shooting, it's going to be 4 and the ball.
Yep. Second one's missed. Now the technical foul will be shot, and again, as you mentioned, they'll get the ball back too. First one by John, good. John now into double digits. And the basketball with under a minute to go.
May hold for one here. They're up 8. It could be 10 or 11. And then you may look for them to hold one shot. And who would you rather have the basketball than in the hands of Johnny Boylan?
Yep, absolutely right. That's a 3. Missed by Kurowski. And with under 40 seconds to go, let's see if Hazleton area decides to hold for one shot here.
And I know John Quinn, without question, is not happy about that shot. 56 seconds. He's looking for something much better than that to possibly go up 10 or 11. So he's not very happy at all with that shot.
Under 20 now. Under 15. Back over to Mariano. Nathan in the lane. Tough shot. No. Tucker the foul. Royan at the horn. It won't go. Way off. But Tucker with a very important bucket there. At the half. 31-25. The intermission live here at Hazleton Area High School, and right now the Coughlin Crusaders are only one half away from wrapping up the Wyoming Valley Conference Division I title if they can hang on to this 31-25 lead. And we welcome you back with Connie Ocianci. I'm Connie Costanzo. We've been down this road before. Coughlin had the lead when they hosted this game in the first half, weren't able to hang on in the second half, so as Yogi Berra said, deja vu all over again.
Well, an excellent first half, I thought, by Coughlin offensively. Boylan creating off the dribble, reversing the basketball. McLaughlin stepping up in the pocket, hitting the threes. Nab Corey inside, outside, doing a real nice job. In the first half for Hazleton, Barletta and Broyan, 15 points in the first quarter, nothing in the second. Matt Tucker's got to get on track in the second half for Hazleton to win. It's a 6-point game. With about 50 seconds to go, Coughlin's up 8 with the basketball. Kurowski takes an ill-advised 3. John Quinn, I don't think, liked it. You got to go for one. You may be up 10, you may be up 11, but Hazleton doesn't see the ball again. They do, and Tucker tips, and now it's 6. And those are the kind of things maybe later in the game they come back to haunt you. But I thought both teams played well defensively. Hazleton not as well offensively, other than Barletta and Broyan getting off in the first quarter.
And Barletta and Broyan 15 total points, but again, all those points in the first period. Well, we're seeing two of the best high school basketball teams in the Wyoming Valley Conference. Tonight, let's take a look at this week's WYLN Top 10. Here we go. Number 10, Shikellamy area. In at number 9, the Rangers from Northwest. Team number 8, the team we're seeing tonight, Hazleton area. In at 7, the team that the Cougars are playing, Coughlin. The Grenadiers, or GAR, are playing Myers tonight for the Division II second half title. Our team at 5 is Shamokin area. In at 4, team we saw last Friday night, the Bucks from Dunmore. Squad number 3, the Black Panthers from Milton. In at 2, the Williamsport Millionaires. And that number 1 team, the team that is playing GAR, the Myers Mohawks. Of course, last year the Mohawks going all the way to Hershey. At the half, 31-25. Coughlin with the lead, and if you are John Quinn in the locker room, happy with the lead, but as you had mentioned, some of the last-minute decisions made by the Crusaders, he probably is not very happy with.
Well, he'll just spend a few seconds on that last shot, but bottom line, he's got to be happy with the way they're moving the basketball. John Boylan's creating situations. He's broken down the Hazleton zone. He's gotten in seams and created shots, and they've shot the ball pretty well. Bruce, on the other hand, does a real good job of making halftime adjustments. Also, got to find a way to get Matt Tucker into the ball game, get him the basketball. He's got to score in that low post area. He's got to get to the glass for them to be effective. Barletta, Bobby Broyan carrying the load in the first half. The senior, Tucker, the veteran, he's got to come to play in the second half.
Boy, the Crusaders' defense has been outstanding against Barletta and Broyan second period. No points by both of those players. Well, one of the key players for the Coughlin Crusaders all year long, this young man, John Boylan. And Boylan right now, unofficially, with 11 points in this contest. We'll take a break. Jim Shepard's statistics are coming up after this. Again at the intermission, and Coughlin has a 6-point advantage against the Hazleton area Cougars. Connie Ocianci, let's take a look at some halftime stats.
Well, both teams shooting roughly around 50%, Conio, from two-point land. From the three-point area, Hazelton 3 for 5 at 60, and Coughlin 3 for 7. 6 for 8, Coughlin from the foul line, and Hazelton 0 for 2. But the one statistic that you don't see very often is the Hazelton Cougars with 8 turnovers in the first half. That is uncustomary for Bruce's team, and I'm sure he talked about that at halftime.
And again, our score 31 to 25 as both teams get ready to play this third period. A reminder, tonight's game on W Island brought to you by the Third Base Luncheonette. Good luck to the Hazleton area Cougars from the Third Base Luncheonette. Serving the Hazleton area since 1949. Try a famous third base hoagie, the best place next to home. For great food and free delivery, call 455-0631. Tonight's game also brought to you by the 15th Street Battery Warehouse, specializing in auto, truck, marine batteries, and much, much more. We do alternator, battery, and starter testing free. So when it comes to battery problems, come to the 15th Street Battery Warehouse, located at 15th and State Court. Call 450-5155. And we are set for second half play here at Hazleton Area High School. Glad you could join us. John Boylan, baseline.
Now the first possession, Hazelton goes man-to-man defense. They're a little bit late picking up Boylan, and he's quick step on the baseline and scores the first bucket to put them up 8. Just a real good move by Boylan on the baseline. But Hazelton has decided defensively that they want to go man-to-man at the start of the third quarter.
Tucker, kick back out, that's a 3. Broyan missed it though. Rebound out of bounds, it's going to be Coughlin possession, and we'll get a look at John Boylan's first points of the second.
Right on the baseline, Nathan Mariano Canio just a little bit late coming over the screen. Boylan had the quick first step and made the bucket.
33-25, and another possession here for Coughlin. Boylan, kick back out. Karofsky had a thought about a real long 3. Karofsky turned it over. Mills threw it into traffic. Barletta forcing the action. No. Tipped away, and that's no good as well. Tucker had a shot there, but had it blocked. Loose ball. Crusaders have it. Missed shot there by McLaughlin, and what do we have? A whistle. Foul against Hazleton area.
And that time McLaughlin took a shot that he wasn't really sure he wanted to take. The ball came right back to him. He went back up and got fouled. Here's Roman McLaughlin. Not really under control at that particular time, but the ball bounced right back to him, goes up strong and picks up the foul.
Roman McLaughlin to the line. 1 of 2. Tucker the rebound.
Little Coughlin full court pressure, but they'll drop back in the matchup 2-3 zone.
Missed shot by Tucker. Broyan's 3, no. Tipped around, Broyan the board. Here comes Barletta, excuse me. Broyan. Kick kicked out of bounds. Hazelton area of possession, and a sub in is Chris Live will come in for Nathan Mariano.
And Chris, of course, the son of Coach Bruce Live, the freshman who we see a lot in the JV games and does a real good job for the Hazelton area JV ball club.
Chris Live. Royan. Tipped away. Royan's got it again. A reach in. Barletta got it off glass and got it to go. Tough shot by Michael.
A nice baseline drive by Barletta, looking for Tucker. The head Tucker shut down on the inside, and Barletta took it on his own on the baseline.
34-27.
I think at that juncture, that's the big basket, Connie, to get it back to 7 and some workable numbers here in the third quarter.
Oh, open inside. Nap Corey, and Scott scores going reverse.
Talking about the baseline game of Nap Corey before the game. There's your example. Got the ball in the base, quick step reversal, and that's the kind of game this kid can play. He does a lot of different things offensively.
Under 5 minutes to play. (36-27). Tucker. Corner alive. Chris. Foul called, and they're going to get McLaughlin on the reach-in. But Scott Napcory with a real nice move baseline.
There's your baseline take. Canio comes back up and around Tucker on the reverse. And a nice individual move that time by Scott Napcory. And the Crusaders go up 9 at 36-27.
Beat travel with the basketball. Lesko is going to come in for Bruce Live team, who just shrugs his head there, and Tucker's going to have a seat. Gorofsky. And that's going to be a stepping call against Scott Napcory. John Quinn not agreeing with the call on the Coughlin sideline.
I think Bruce will just talk to Matt Tucker now for a minute or two and just get him situated and tell him, get back in the ball game. You're still our big guy on the inside. You've got to score for us to be successful.
Boylan lost the handle off glass, but he finally somehow found that to go in.
And no sooner than we talk, and Matt Tucker is by the scorer's table, he's ready to come back in. Now your big guy's got to be in the ball game, and I know Bruce knows that. He knows if it's going to go down, it's going to be with the big guy on the floor.
Gorofsky, what do we have? They're going to call a double dribble. John Boylan made an unbelievable move. Bruce Live is saying, boys, we need to take a timeout. Boylan shot, a 20-second timeout taken by the Cougars. 38-27. And we remind you, tonight's game here on WYLN brought to you by Dean Witter. For further information on IRA rollovers, Roth IRAs, financial planning and retirement planning, contact your Hazelton area Dean Witter representative, Joe Doherty or Wally Gifford, 455-7396. Well, right now the home crowd has not had a lot to cheer about, because right now it is a 38-27 lead for Coughlin.
And Coughlin doing a nice job in the second half with a little pressure and the flicks and a couple steals, and they're really aggressive defensively and kind of have Hazelton back on their heels a little bit, Canio, in this third quarter.
Lesko with the ball now. Lenny checked into the ball game a few moments ago. Chris Live, baseline, forcing the action, no whistle. And here comes Coughlin. Boylan. Gorofsky. To Napcory. Shot in the lane is hit by McLaughlin.
Good transition. Boylan up the floor to Napcory. Napcory makes the bucket, makes a nice look to McLaughlin. It's just a nice individual transition situation there, Canio, for Coughlin. Napcory tries to create with the crossover. Tucker comes to help, and just a nice vision of the floor and a nice look and pass to McLaughlin, and the finish by Roman.
3:21 left. 13-point lead for Coughlin. A whistle as Royans roll the baseline. Jeff Mills is going to pick up the personal foul. Coach, here's the move.
There's a nice move, left-handed by baseline. He goes by Boylan. Mills comes over, and he picks up the third personal foul. And Marvin Jama comes back in the game for Jeff Mills, who picks up his third, and Boylan gets to the line for 2. And it's 13, and they've got to knock it down within 3:15. I'm sure Bruce would like to be within 10 or maybe a little less than 10.
Boyan for 2. Hits the first, so that his first point since the first period. Boyan's second. Got them both.
And the freshman goes up nice and calm and cool and buries 2. And he gets Hazelton to within 11.
Veet going to pick up one of those nickel and dimers.
Well, they've come out in a full court man-to-man pressure. They're 11 down. They're out of the matchup zone. And Veet picks up the foul on that Corey. But Hazelton now committed to the man-to-man. They've got to make something happen off of their defense.
Boylan. That shot's blocked by Tucker. Barletta. Fans sensing maybe a little bit of a run here. Under 3 minutes now.
Hazelton showing the patience still. They haven't panicked. They're just down 11. And it's a team all year long that hasn't panicked. And even being down 11, they're showing a good patience. They know they're still in the ball game. And Coughlin's still aggressive and doing a nice job defensively.
Barletta, before the shot, trying to post up inside. A.J. Karofsky is looking around as if to say, what me, so...
Good look by Tucker. Just a high-low. A little bit of a hand check, and they catch A.J. for the foul.
Open 3, Boyan. Oh, that's a big 3.
Off the out-of-bounds play, nice screen. The freshman buries the last 5. 2 from the free-throw line plus the 3. And now you might be able to sense a little bit of a run by Hazelton.
Jama. Snap Corey. Scott dribbles, stops in the lane, in and out. And Tucker the rebound.
That halfway down and came back out, and that would have put it up to 10, and now there comes Barletta in transition.
Out to Chris Live. With 1:45 to go here in the third. Happy you could join us on WYLN. Crusaders hang on, they win the overall title. Hazelton area victorious, and they will force a game Thursday or Friday. The 3 is no good. John Boylan the rebound. Boylan. Karofsky is open, missed the shot though. Tucker the board. Now Chris Live. Slowly past the timeline. 8-point contest. Inside Tucker. Yes. Got the shooter's roll. You're under 10 points. It's now 6. Boylan, tough shot lane. No. Boylan got the board, though. Missed it, though. And a reach game's going to be called against John Boylan with 40 seconds to go. And the fans now making some noise.
Well, they're coming down Coughlin. They're taking some shots off transition. It was a minute and 32. You're up 8. You may want to bring it back out. You may want to look for one. But they've come down and took 2 shots. Of course, 2 wide open shots. Neither one fell. It's a 6-point game. And Hazelton has the basketball and some momentum. And a bucket here really sends the crowd, I think, a little bit in hysteria.
Yeah, they'll raise the roof if Hazelton area can score here. And Bruce Live's team looks like Chris Live will hold for 1 shot here. Which again is the right call. You don't want to give Coughlin a last shot to turn this thing into a 9-point lead. Wait for 1 good shot. Under 10 seconds now. Barletta. Tough shot. Michael rimmed it out. McLaughlin the rebound at the horn. No. So we play 3 periods. Hazleton area with a little bit of a comeback. And they're only down 6.
First Federal Savings, an equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Scoring by quarters, and you can see what these teams have done. Really the difference. The second period by Coughlin. 6-point lead.
Hazelton gets it to 6 now. Very workable. And right now, again, Tucker seems to be available on the inside, and he's got to come up big in this fourth quarter.
Tucker with only 4 points. Boyan. No. Barletta, glass, no. Offensive rebound we're going to have over the back. Going to be called against Matt Tucker.
Looked like Tucker at 6'7", went over the top. Tough to see the foul. Here's Barletta's miss. Tucker on the board. That's a tough call right there. Very tough call. And it gives Coughlin the ball back and up 6 versus Hazleton down 4. That's a big swing right there, especially if Coughlin can score here.
That Corey got it to go.
And as I said, Connie, a nice offensive package. Outside, take it to the bucket on the baseline. He's a good-looking player. One of the best players I've seen so far this year, and maybe very underrated.
That Corey scored 10 the last time these two teams met. Steps called against Mariano. And a lot of things going right for Coughlin. And at the 7-minute mark, they're up 42-34.
And you'll see Hazel now really put the pressure on. Full court pickup, good pressure defense, and the matchup out front is Mariano and Boylan.
Boylan. Zorofsky. Now Corey. Mills. Block. Fans wanted to travel, didn't get the call. Nevertheless, Hazleton area with possession. Mariano. Barletta. Tough shot. That was blocked. And that's going to be an offensive foul. That is going to be called against Matt Tucker. Tucker's third foul. John Quinn looking on. You got a shot of John Quinn, who has to be very happy for what he's seeing. Both teams shooting the ball pretty well, near 50%. Roman McLaughlin. A
little patience showed by, just like say, Payson. Now Corey puts the 3 up. And it stays at 8. With a chance for Hazel to knock it down to 6. And buckets now are crucial, Connie. Right now it's an 8-point game, and Hazel's going to need a bucket and a stop. And
Tucker to Veet, fouled. So Veet to the line to shoot a couple. Jonathan, who had such a tremendous contest last time these two teams met in Wilkes-Barre on the 13th of January. And here's the foul.
Tucker in the low post. You see Veet break down the lane. Nice pass, and Veet's going to get a shot at making 2 and get it to 6 points. And it's at 5:42. There's a lot of game left. And this again is going to right down, I think, to the wire. It could be a buzzer beater, but it's shaping up that way. It's been an excellent played game so far. You know, both teams really scrapping defensively. And
Boylan for Coughlin. Zorofsky. AJ. Picked up his dribble. Boylan. No. Loose ball. Controlled by Barletta. Here comes Chris Live. And what do we have? A whistle, Jonathan Veet. And he may be possibly bleeding. Yes, there is a bit of blood on John Veet, so he's going to have to get that looked at. Mike Maseko, the trainer, and so somebody else is going to have to come into the ball game for Hazleton area.
Mariano comes off the bench and comes in for Jonathan Veet. If you're Coughlin right now, Conneal, you don't want to get tentative out there. You've done a good job taking the ball to the basket, getting some good shot opportunities. The last couple possessions, it seemed like they might have got a little tentative, but they need to get Boylan the basketball and let him create.
Don Patrick will come into the ball game. As they continue to work on Jonathan Veet, who has a bit of a cut underneath his right elbow. And Veet's going to have to go take his jersey off as you get a look at him running into the locker room.
A little Superman act here by Jonathan Veet, but the sophomores played extremely well. Buried those 2 free throws, and it's a 6-point game with 5:01, and a lot of things can happen right now, but it seems like Coughlin has got just a tad tentative offensively the last 2 possessions.
And John Veet now wearing number 40. Well, Bruce Life's team with 5:01 to go here in the 4th, trailing John Quinn's team 42-36. John Quinn and his father coaching in the Wilkes-Barre area for 66 years.
I thought of basketball over the years for the Quinn family, and John Quinn, very intense guy, wears his heart on his sleeve, and very competitive guy, and he's waited so long for this one, and he's about 5 minutes and 1 second away. And of course, on the other side, Bruce Slide, a little more low-key, but nonetheless, the fire burns inside for Bruce, the very intense competitor himself.
Tucker grabbing that fastball thrown to him. And Mariano. Barletta. Baseline, Barletta, too hard. Patrick, the board, and fouls. So Don Patrick comes off the bench, gets an offensive rebound, and now he'll go to the line.
On the baseline move, the defense of Coughlin shifted, trying to stop and help on Barletta. Watch the defense shift. He misses the jumper, and on the weak side, Patrick is there for the rebound. That is all created by the help defense getting across to try to stop Barletta's penetration, and now you leave your man, you come across the lane, and Patrick is there to shoot 2, and the first one rims out. But he's there, good position for Patrick.
Don Patrick, wide receiver on John Yacino's football team. The sophomore forward got the second to go, though. Lead down to 5. Boylan guarded closely by Mariano. Karofsky. McLaughlin swung around net court. Scott moving the lane. Blocked. Thrown away though, and Coughlin's got it. Oh goodness. Big break for the Crusaders. Boylan in the lane. Yes.
Well, you have the ball, then you lose it. And Coughlin turns the turnover quickly, and a score by Boylan. 4-point swing gets it back to 7. Each possession now becomes just a little bigger and bigger for each ball club, Conneal.
Patrick, corner. Mariano, who hit a big 3 last time they played, hits 1 here.
Boy, the freshman steps up. How about
Bobby Boyan? Excuse me. Bobby Boyan 4 for 5 from the 3-point line tonight. Lead to 4. Block going to be called before the shot, and they are going to get Nathan Mariano on the personal foul with 3:34 remaining here in the 4th.
They mark it down 3:34, the big 3 by Boyan. Let's see what that does as far as the momentum for Hazleton. Without that, they're still down 7.
Boylan Reverse layup fouled, and I think it's on Tucker. But see, indeed it is.
4 on Tucker.
And there's the foul.
Boylan on the baseline with the reversal, and Tucker gets a piece of him, and Senior goes to the line to try to get it back to 6.
First one good.
That blue shirt of John Quinn is wringing, soaking wet here late in the ball game.
And that's going to be a push-off against Boylan. Trying to go for a rebound there. And here is the foul called against John Boylan going over the back.
Missed the free throw. Comes in. Mariano has position. And we go on the other end. And, of course, Hazelin gets a shot here to bring it to 3.
1-and-1 opportunity. Mariano and 82% free throws shooter. Senior can cut it to 3. In and out. Now Corey. Nice when he can have a forward like Scott bring the ball up court. McLaughlin. Mills. Had the shot, decided not to take it, and a PO taken. A 20-second timeout is taken by the Coughlin Crusaders with 3 minutes and 16 seconds to go here in the 4th period of play. And we remind you tonight's game brought to you by Robert Judd and his qualified staff at Arc Electric. They wish the Cougars good luck. Arc Electric, a leader in residential, industrial, and commercial electrical work. 45-41. 20-second timeout taken by John Quinn. He's got his remaining 20 left and his full alignment of full timeouts. Bruce Live's team only has 3 60-second timeouts left.
And it might see them clear the floor a little bit, Conio, for Boylan. Last time they ran a little bit of a 1-4 set in the first game down low and gave Boylan a chance to create off the dribble.
McLaughlin traveled with the ball. Big turnover with 3:02 left in the 4th.
It looks like Coughlin's trying to go a little bit of a stall. They're trying to play some key play. The next foul for them would put them in a 1-on-1 situation. And they're looking to just try to take some time off of the clock.
A turnover. Great play defensively by Karofsky. McLaughlin stepped out of bounds that time. Mariano stepped out of bounds. Coughlin ball with 2:56 to go.
Nice pick that time by A.J. Karofsky. Maybe look for Coughlin to try to take a little bit of time if they can.
Boylan.
Now they've gotten the guy in the hands of the guy who can make things happen, in Johnny Boylan.
McLaughlin. Now Corey. Scott brings it out. See the timeouts remaining, which we spoke of a few moments ago. McLaughlin.
And they're just going to run time right now. Look for a good backdoor cut, short jumper, possible layup.
Do you think about fouling here?
Well, I don't think Bruce will look to foul right now, Conio, with 2:20. There's a bunch of time left for him to do what he has to do.
Now Corey dribbling around back to Boylan, and foul called against Nathan Mariano. So they put John Boylan on the line for a 1-and-1. John Quinn's team subbing out Jeff Mills.
In close games, championship seasons, on the foul line, that's where they're won. In close games, you got your best ball player on the foul line. You're looking for him to knock down 2 and give it a little bit of cushion.
John Boylan's mom is here tonight. Talked to her before the game, and she said, you know, it's our time. We have to win one of these. It may be. We have 2:09 left in the 4th, and it's a 5-point lead. Back here, Hazleton Area High School. Coughlin leading by 5. John Boylan missed the second. 2-possession game at least for Hazleton Area. A lot of time left, though.
And Coughlin trying to get set in their matchups going. And now you got to watch the perimeter, and you've got to watch the shooters. And you got to find, obviously, where Barletta is, where Broyen on the perimeter, or else they'll look to go to Tucker on the inside. But you've got to spot Barletta and Broyen because they're the guys that can stick to three.
Tucker. Give it back to Broyen. Corner Mariano. Open beat. Block. But a foul. Now Corey's going to pick up the personal foul. And John Quinn saying, guys, relax.
Well, A.J. Karasi goes over and tries to settle down Scott. It's not a time when you want to pick up anything like the tee. Good effort by Nap Corey. Nice, strong move by Veet.
Here comes John. Again, he's wearing 40. Had some blood in the third period off his right elbow, and you may be able to see his right elbow bandaged up, wondering if that's going to affect his shooting here. One of two, though. Tucker went over the back. And that is Matt Tucker's fifth foul. Matt Tucker, with 1:45 to go, has fouled out of the game.
Well, your 6'7" seniors out now, and you try captain people like Mariano Barletta. As veteran people will now have to take it over, Connie, with 1:45 to go. You would think that Barletta will look to score and try to create some things on his own. But, Matt Tucker out of the game at 6'7", their biggest player out. Nap Corey going to the line with a shot to put him up 6. If you're Hazleton, you're a little bit pessimistic, I would say, at this point. But yet, by the same token, as we know, the way Broyen and Barletta can shoot the basketball, you're not going to be out of the ball game.
And another guard coming into the game. Chris Blythe will be in.
Now it's the 5-guard lineup, basically. Actually, if you look at Veet as their biggest guy, he's your center at 6'1", and you've got 4 guards, and they'll look to press and trap and try to double up.
Nap Corey hit the first on the 1-and-1. Here comes the second attempt. Got them both. Barletta. Tough shot, got it to go. For Coughlin, the Hazleton area may want to think about a foul, and we have one here. Called against Bobby Broyen. Bruce Live saying, what about the walk?
We talked about Barletta, the senior, trying to take over on the baseline. Nice move, and that's what Bruce looks for. And Michael Barletta is a solid veteran player, and he's going to take this thing over if he can.
Jama in, Mills out.
Little smaller, quicker lineup for Coughlin with that substitution.
Coughlin with 13 on the line of 1-and-1. First one rimmed in.
And are these big free throws? And that's an understatement to say the least.
Enormous. Second one no good. Offensive foul called, however, pushing off against Marvin Jama. Interesting now because with a 5-point lead, you allow Hazleton area to score 2 points without any time going off the clock.
Exactly right, Connie. You're up 5. They have the basketball. They've got to score. You give them the opportunity to cut it to 3, make it a 1-possession game. That puts them right back in the ball game.
John Veet is 3 for 4 from the charity stripe. First one, rimmed in. Again, Veet about a 71% free throw shooter. Second one, no. What do we have? A jump ball, and it's going to be Coughlin possession, though. Reach-in call. Barletta will pick up his third with 1:24 remaining.
Looks like it's the 9th personal foul on Hazleton area, so Nap Corey goes to the line. A pretty good foul shooter.
Yes, he is. Mills back in.
He's one of the guys you would want on the foul line is Nap Corey. Cool customer under pressure, and he's knocked him down before.
By the way, want to say hello to one of our crew members. Gilly Vitro a little bit under the weather.
And
hopefully we'll see her soon.
And actually it was their 10th personal foul, and it's 2 free throws for each ball club coming down the stretch.
Second one good. 6-point lead. Tipped out of bounds. Will be Hazleton area possession with a $1:21 to go.
They look for some threes. Obviously, Broyan try to set Barletta free. Possibly Mariano. But 1:21, there's still some time. But this possession would really be super key for Hazelton right here.
Mariano almost slipped. Broyan. Offensive foul called on Bobby Broyan. And Bruce Live immediately wanting a timeout. We have 1:16 to go here in the fourth. Coughlin with the lead.
Wyoming take a lot of jump.
And we are back. 51-45. Coughlin with the basketball and the lead. And they'll take the ball out. Boylan, double team. Napori up court. Got it to John Boylan.
Just keep away. Just keep away. They'll just try to keep it away as best they can.
And now a foul called. And here is a look at the offensive foul that was called moments ago on Broyan.
Broyan takes the baseline with the left hand. Mills gets there nicely. Looked like a pretty good call there. That time Jason got his feet set and picked up the offensive foul.
And Bruce Live just stood up and signaled timeout. Cannot believe that some of the fans here are leaving. And you see what Coughlin's done on the free throw line. 70% ice water in this young man's veins. Scott Napori. 6 of 7 from the charity stripe tonight. 7 of 8. Mariano. Live. Shot missed by Mariano. And up court. Foul going to be called against Barletta. To the line, Karofsky. Barletta has fouled out of the game, and it looks like John Quinn is going to win this Wyoming Valley Conference Division I title.
Well, 46.5 seconds to go. Every free throw is a two-shot opportunity, and of course Hazelton would need some threes and bunches. And if AJ could bag 2 here, you can just about book it.
And Bruce Live officially got 60 seconds to take Barletta out. Michael has picked up his 5th personal. Barletta still on the floor. His last game here at Hazleton Area High School. He'll get a nice round of applause, I'm sure.
Great career here for Michael Barletta. Brent Teeters takes his place, but as a senior, gutsy player, 5'10". He's had an excellent career as a tough kid and good quality player. And they'll miss him here at Hazelton High School.
Yes, they will. First free throw, back iron, no good by AJ. 2 shots for the senior here as Hazleton Area is well over the 10 foul limit. Both teams, as a matter of fact, are. Second one's good. Mariano up court. Only 1 timeout left for Hazleton Area. Live? Yes. And a timeout called by Hazleton Area with 35.5 seconds to go here in this contest. And Bruce Live talking to the officials about this game. Break and we're back.
Get the best selection and lowest prices at Fairway Chevrolet Subaru. Like Chevy S10 pickups, just $169 a month. And Chevy Cavaliers, just $199 a month. And don't miss the all-new Subaru Forester SUV, Fairway priced at just $262 a month. Or drive away in a Subaru Impreza for under $227 a month. New or used, buy or lease. For the best deal on your next car or truck, see us first. Fairway Chevrolet Subaru. We want to be your dealer.
A1 Supermarket, full service, contemporary, convenient, with all the friendliness of hometown owners and personal service. A1's famous meat department is phenomenal. Its reputation was built on quality. And the deli, another hallmark of freshness, quality, and service. A1 Supermarket, 447 South Poplar Street, Hazleton Heights. The modern supermarket with old-fashioned quality. There's never a limit at A1.
Back to live action, Coughlin. Jonathan Veet will pick up a foul as he hacks A.J. Gorovsky. And Bruce Live, real class move, going over and congratulating John Quinn on the Wyoming Valley Conference Division I title. And he'll empty the bench with 28.5 seconds to go.
Yeah, it is a class move by Bruce, the guy who's won many, many championships here. And Johnny Quinn, let's congratulate John and the Coughlin Crusaders. Must be a great feeling for John.
Yep.
Father coach, he's coached, and first championship since 1935, and a well-deserved championship. Yep. I thought they played outstanding basketball tonight, and their guys came to play. Hazelton came to play, but the execution is a little bit better on Coughlin's part tonight.
Another classy move. The 5 players that were on the bench on the floor for Coughlin all applauded. And I think that a real sign of the respect that both programs have for each other, the players for Coughlin, and I'm sure the same on the other side.
Well, there's been some titanic battles and struggles over the years, buzzer beaters, overtimes, and certainly when you're this intense and you have that kind of rivalry, yes, there is a mutual respect of the coaches for each other and the teams for each other, and that's what high school basketball is all about.
Yep.
All about aggressive, intense, but when it's over, it's over. And Coughlin got the job done this year, and it's their championship.
Final seconds here inside. Lenny Lesko was fouled with 17.6 seconds to go, and Bruce Live has now been thrown out of the game by George Gregaris. And Gregaris is letting Bojikis know what he thinks as well. Bruce Live out of the game. .6 seconds to go. Some idiot just threw something onto the floor.
Well, a little excitement at the end of the game is always nice. About 17.6 seconds to go, and Lenny Lesko is going to shoot 2.
First one no good. 55-47. You can see some of the Coughlin players really excited, and you have to be happy for them. They've been so close all these years. How close has John Quinn been year in and year out to winning a Wyoming Valley Conference championship? And finally, he's going to get the title.
And when you're a high school kid, it's what you play for, the excitement. You know what those kids are going through. The Hazleton players know what the Coughlin kids are going through right now. And it's just been a great year for Coughlin. And I'll tell you, an extremely good year for Bruce Live. With the personnel he had back, I thought he did an excellent job. And, of course, John Quinn doing a super job here for Coughlin. So it's somebody else's turn this year. And for John Quinn, he's probably going to sing Happy Days Are Here again at some point in time. But there'll be a lot of excitement in the Quinn household tonight.
Yes, there will be.
The mighty Quinn's going to take it home tonight.
Michael Lucchino, a second free throw attempt, and he got them both. Lucchino only a freshman.
John keeps on holding his head over there, Connie. I think he knows it's probably over, but he still keeps holding that head. If he has a headache, I'm not really sure. But
we'll get him some Tylenol or some kind of aspirin if he wishes. This is not an easy place to play either if you're a visiting team. Krause, that's it. Coughlin has won the Wyoming Valley Conference Championship. 57-48. So there will be no overall title game played between these two teams either Thursday or Friday night, as Hazleton area defeated on their home court by the Crusaders of Coughlin. We'll take a timeout and be back. Final thoughts after this. Time indeed for the Coughlin Crusaders. Their first Wyoming Valley Conference title, we've been told, since 1935. Is that the Herbert Hoover administration?
Well, I'm not a great historian, but it could be probably around that area.
Okay.
But, you know, for John Quinn and his Coughlin Crusaders, an outstanding effort tonight. Earned every bit of it, played well. Hazleton fought hard, but Coughlin executed on both ends of the floor, shot the ball a little bit better. And the big three for Coughlin, McLaughlin, Nap Corey, Johnny Boylan taking over when things got tough. That was the difference in the ball game. But just an overall good team effort, solid effort by Coughlin.
And how about, we spoke about Nap Corey, how about the great job Nap Corey did on the line, 7 of 8, and he went 6 of 6 in the fourth period from the charity stripe. Great job by Scott Nap Corey.
Well, your veteran people have to come up big in big ball games and championship games. You got to shoot free throws. When Nap Corey, Boylan, McLaughlin got to the line, you saw they got there with confidence. They knew they could bury two, and in most cases they did, and that's what you need out of your veteran people, and that's what they did for John Quinn tonight.
And for Hazleton area and Coughlin, there'll be a little bit of a break as both teams wait for the District 2 Quad A playoffs. You know, you get the feeling these two teams are probably going to meet one more time in the District 2 playoffs. We'll see what happens in a few weeks. Well, that will just about wrap things up for us. We want to thank you for joining us here on WYLN for a great night of high school basketball. The Coughlin Crusaders have won Division I of the Wyoming Valley Conference. For the entire team, for Drexel Wright, Jim Shepard, and Connie Ocianci, they're cutting down the nets here at Hazleton Area High School. I'm Connie Costanzo. We'll see you during the playoffs. So long.